Okay, so Prince Harry's U.S. visa application papers have been handed over to a judge who will decide whether or not they should be made public. The Department of Homeland Security submitted the records for review. That was yesterday, the Daily Mail. Whoa. So, apparently this Judge Carl Nichols, he ordered the Department of Homeland Security to provide more information about why Harry's immigration details, should be kept secret. It says here, in a new court filing seen by Newsweek, the DHS now said that it complied with the order by submitting declarations with attachments for ex parte, in-camera, in-private review via an encrypted link. Whoa, okay. So what do I think about this? Well, I mean, it says here, the filing is the latest twist in the legal battle, let's go over the Duke of Sussex and his immigration status, as the Conservative Heritage Foundation is seeking the release of the documents to find out whether Harry lied about his drug use. Well, they're conservative, so I guess this is Donald Trump, is he behind this? Is Trump behind this? Because he did say that if he is elected, that he will not protect Harry. And I think that if he is elected, he's going to throw Harry out of the country one way or another. Because how is he going to do that? I mean, he does that with the types of judges that he appoints to the bench. He just does that. I mean, the man has a way, I think, of influencing the behavior of very powerful people. Very, very people who should be very serious about their work and the consequences of what they do. Listen to Trump. Trump is very persuasive. I mean, it's something in his character. It's in his DNA. He is a very persuasive guy, and people listen to him. I mean, if you imagine some other person had done and said the things Trump has done and said over the past 8 years, I mean, January 6th, if you imagine another presidential personality had said the things Trump said, had incited people with his words, etc., etc. I mean, he says it wasn't incitement. I mean, reasonable people can disagree with that, right? Yeah, I just lost power, so I had to reboot, so excuse me. But yeah, I mean, so it says here that the Heritage Foundation is seeking the release of the documents to find out whether Harry lied about his drug use in his application. And it says here, in Spare, Harry admitted using cocaine, cannabis, and psychedelic mushrooms. Ooh, what do I think about that? Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I certainly hope that his visa application is consistent with his admission in Spare. But at the same time, I do feel like whether it is or it isn't, I believe that his immigration files are his personal business and his personal data, and there's no purpose served in spilling this man's or anybody's immigration files. I mean, unless that person has committed some kind of wrongdoing, criminal activity, and so on related to that file, and that he's under suspicion for something. They would examine the files, and then on a case-by-case basis, the judge would have discretion of whether to release the files. But here, you have a person who has been living in the country for 4 years. He has committed no illegal acts, as far as I know. He hasn't bothered anybody. Why are they after him to this extent? I mean, look, they're after him to this extent because they're after him to this extent. This is the world we live in. And I think the thing is, certainly for me, is to face the world as it is. You know, I tend to have a very idealistic view of the world, which I think is rapidly changing. But I mean, for most of my life until very recently, I would say that I'm very, very sort of idealistic to the point of maybe being in my own little la la land, and people are just like, what continent, what planet, what stratosphere? What are you talking about? Where did you come from? What? Like what? They just can't even understand. And I think, yeah, I understand. I mean, it's not the world we live in right now. I mean, the world we live in is really coarse, and it's awful, right? It's ugly. It's hate filled. It's dangerous, you know. And it's changing. I think it's this way because we have to make a decision as a collective, of the species on the earth of where are we going next? It's a journey. It's a journey. And we're all on this journey. Every last billion one of us, 2, 3, whatever, 5 billion, I don't even know what the population is. We're just walking. We walk every day. We're on this journey of we're moving to where, and that's where we are. We're all asking ourselves, to where? Where is this heading? What is this? What's going on? And I think as that question sort of intensifies, in our collective heads, we start acting crazy. We start acting out. We start just, pushing. We're pushing. Like what is this? It's like a desperate push. I think this probably has happened before on the earth, but just not in our lifetimes, where it's time for a change. Like, what are we going to do next? And of course, you can see what we're going to do next. The next is, moving the life to other planets and changing what life really even looks like. People become robots. I mean, literally. Like, I mean, there's a possibility that the time will come, I think, this is my opinion, in the world, on the earth, where people are no longer Homo sapiens, they are created from, artificial intelligence. And, you have literally a planet of robots. But if you think about it, we are robots. We just don't know it. You see, we are programmed with all of these awful emotions, hate being one of the primary ones that the human is programmed with. We came into this life already prepackaged to hate. And so what is being displayed here against Harry and Meghan is pure hate. But there's no point in beating your head against a wall. Oh, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? They're doing this because it's the nature of humans, Homo sapiens, to do things like this. And where we are in the world, I mean, we can also, we have different natures. You can be kind, but it's just not where we are on that wheel. It's like we're on a wheel. And that wheel probably takes 1,000 years to make a whole sort of complete journey, you see. So right now, I feel like we're at the top of that wheel. So our heads are facing downwards and we're fucking nuts. Everybody's just fucking nuts. You know what I mean? So there's like a lot of craziness. Hate is real. Everything is intense because the blood that's rushing down to our heads is really like, it's not the norm, it's not the same as when you're at the bottom of the wheel, you see. And so we have to decide where are we going to go. And they're going to just, we're going to go to other planets. We are going to go to other planets. We're going to do a lot of amazing, crazy things that have never been done. At least we don't think so. Who knows, really? but I don't think it's ever been done where people are able to like literally live on different planets, like this guy Elon Musk said. It's what's going to be. It's a whole different life. But to get there, we have to tap into a place in our inside of ourselves that is pretty hard and pretty horrible and vicious and comes out, you see, because it's hard to do. It's hard to do what we have to do. I mean, it looks like just a few of us are doing it, but all of us are doing it because everybody is fueling the few at the top who are actually doing the work to get us to the next step in this journey, on this wheel. And that's why they're being like this with Harry and Meghan. It's because it's a level it's a very intense level of hatred. And it's not something that, you can't beat your head against the wall and be like, oh, why? It just is, because that's how they feel. And it's the blood in their heads. And it's just in the air. This level of hatred is, it's profound, you see? So what are you guys going to do about it? Well, I mean, look, I don't know what's in your files. I mean, I can sit here and be like, a Sunday morning quarterback and say, oh, well, first, I wish you hadn't taken these things because I don't think you need that kind of crap, right? But I understand that a lot of teenagers think they do, and they give in to pressure and they do this and they do that. Okay, so you did that. Second, I wish, okay, if you did it, that you didn't say it in the book. But third, having said it, I hope that your immigration files are consistent. And fourth, if they aren't, then look, it's plan D. What's plan D, baby? We need plan D. Plan D is going to be, well, if the judge, just for ugly, decides to reveal that to the public, because as I said, we're in that place in the world where it's just about the ugly. It's about the drama. It's about the theatrics. It's about the hard. It's about the vicious. It's about the ugly, right? That's where we are. It's ugly, right? To do what humanity needs to do next, it takes our ugly side, not our nice guy and nice girl side. We have to be vicious, right? So what do you have to do? I mean, you just have to have your own vicious counter response, right? And that doesn't mean that you don't have to physically harm anybody, but you're going to just have to have your own internal vicious response where you're strong. The vicious response is you're strong. You don't let this break you. You don't let this derail you. You are a rich man with a lot of resources. You have a beautiful wife and son. I'm sure you're already thinking about plan D, E, F, and G. Anyway, I don't have to tell you that. And so, yeah, I mean, you may have to start part-timing in the U.S. You're going to have to part-time in Montecito, unfortunately. Where did you go? And what did I just do here? And you're going to have a pied-à-terre in other places, So you're really looking at maybe 3 different homes, right? And believe me, a lot of wealthy people around the world do just that. Some of them, they live on their yachts, right? And they pull up in Antigua or wherever, right? On their yachts. And they have a beautiful home or not in various places. And that's the answer. I mean, don't even bat an eyelash. Don't sit there crying. Don't worry about it. You have enough resources. You have Montecito and you have, a couple of other places, and totally different real estate. So you may have like you have your French chateau in Montecito, then you have a modern, flat someplace else, choose the place carefully. Make sure there's enough security, right? And then you need a third place as well. Look, there are many places in the world where the governments will protect you, So you just have to get real estate in to other places, right? And that's it. And you are a nomad. You have to become nomadic. And the wonderful thing about the place we are in the human experience is that we should all be so lucky that we can work nomadically and we don't have to go to an office. We can be in any country, anywhere, and we can just pick up our life wherever. As for the children's education, I mean, look, the best education for a child, I think, is just traveling with their parents, and having many different experiences from different cultures and not being stuck in one experience. Montecito, I mean, it's nice, but it's very sort of insular, and not necessarily reflective of the world necessarily, right? So it's almost better to be able to take them to different places and different homes. I mean, if they did that, it's a blessing, is what I'm saying, right? I mean, if it isn't, you turn it into one, right? Without even batting an eyelash, without even batting an eyelash. Do you know what I'm saying to you, my darlings? I'm rambling. I'm becoming old and wise, which is nice. But then it comes with all this other stuff that I'm just like, anyway, that's it for this one. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye.